What's up, everybody? Kevin coming at you from the tackle room. Today we're going to talk about some ice out baits for largemouth up here in the Northeast. Ice is just getting ready to come off the lakes. Our lakes are about half open, so we're getting ready to start thinking about getting the boats put in and start, that cold water largemouth fishing. So let's get into it. We're going to go over a couple traditional, a couple maybe not so traditional baits for early largemouth fishing. All right, the first one, let's be honest. Everybody knows a jerk bait in the spring. Largemouth, smallmouth, doesn't matter. Local lake, we're only about 10 foot deep. So I'm taking a normal Berkeley Stunna 112. This one is Northern Lights, more of the translucent, a little bit of yellow on the belly, purple back. One of my favorite colors, especially cold water, clear sunny days, that more translucent color just seems to do a little better. Cloudier days, I'm going to go to something more solid color, maybe more of a white, but hard to beat a jerk bait first thing in the spring. Second one, we're going to go a little more on the non-traditional side. Not a lot of people are throwing this early in the year, but it's a spinnerbait. This is more of a finesse spinnerbait. It's a 1/4 ounce. I don't know if you can see it there. This is a Berkeley Power Blade Tandem, chartreuse and white. It's my go-to color year round, but especially in the spring. I like the 1/4 ounce. You can get away with 3/8 or a half, but I like to slow roll it up shallow along the bank, bringing it off the bank. All the little fish are just starting to move up, so you're looking like a small bait fish, a couple bait fish up there along the bank starting to come off, a little bit warmer water. I do like to fish on the sunny side of the lake, so a lot of times this time of year mornings are still fairly cold, so in the afternoons find where the sun has hit the lake the most, and get on that side and just slow roll a little spinnerbait, finesse size spinnerbait off the bank, and you're going to pick up some fish. Typically with spinnerbait, catching quality fish, you're not catching a ton of small ones, so it's always a great bait for the spring. All right, bait number 3, chatterbaits and swim jigs. We're going to kind of lump two into one category. Clearer water, I'm going to go with a little less flash and a little more subtle action. I'm throwing a swim jig. Swim jig has become one of my favorite and one of my go-to lures year round, but especially in the spring. Time of year is going to dictate my trailer on my swim jig. Early in the spring, I want a little more subtle, especially in the clearer water. The fish are, just starting to move up. The bait fish are still moving pretty slow, so I want something a little more subtle. I'm going to pick up something like a chigger craw and put on the back of it, or a small paddle tail and put on the back of it. The later in the year we get a little more aggressive trailer, like a rage craw, a Berkeley Shape 108. I'm actually interested to try some of the new max scent, like the crud craw and stuff on the back of a swim jig as we get into a little warmer weather. On the flip side, if I'm going to fish some dirtier water, chatterbait. This is a Z-Man Evo. Hard to be a chatterbait year round. It's something you can have tied on 365 days out of the year and probably catch fish depending on where you live. There again, trailer, I'm probably going to throw a mooch minnow or something like that on the back, something that's not overly aggressive, especially for the spring, but I'm going to slow roll it. So I'm not going to fish it fast. It's going to be, slow roll it, kind of tick the bottom a little bit. If you're fishing around a lot of wood, I found that the Berkeley Slobber Knocker comes over and through wood a little bit better than the Z-Mans do. I think that's more due to the way the blade's attached, being through the head instead of through the eyelet on the line tie for the head. But swim jigs and chatterbaits, two of my go-tos in the spring. Bait number 4, fairly traditional, I would say. A nice big easy meal harness swim bait. So we got, this is a 5-inch mag draft. and we got a 6-inch Berkeley call shad. Both of them kind of match the bigger size of the forage you're seeing. So whether it's a little bit smaller bait fish, I throw the 5-inch mag draft. If I'm starting to see some bigger sunfish, maybe some golden shiners, I'm going to pick up the call shad. Slow roll it off the bank. I'm not fishing fast this time of year. It's all about slow, methodical, picking apart the bank, picking apart, making sure you're hitting every stump, every log, every rock pile, every big rock. Just fishing slow and methodically, and these will let you do that. And they're going to tend to pull a little bigger bite. It's a big, easy meal. You're not going to get as many bites, but the ones you get are going to be quality. All right, number 5. Probably the most sold bait in the United States year after year. We're going with the Senko. The only thing I do different in the spring, I will tend to throw one that has, a chartreuse tail on it, or, if it doesn't, I'll dip it in the chartreuse dye. Just something to give them something to key in on a little bit better. I throw it on a straight shank hook, an owner FPP. Usually for a 5-inch, I'll throw it on a 3/0. For a 4-inch, I'll throw it on a 2/0. One sneaky hack, straight shank hook, Texas rig it. I like to add a blade to the back of my Senkos. This is a 4-inch Senko. Add a blade, comes out about 4 3/4, 5 inches, so it gives you a little bit longer profile. But it also is going to throw off a lot of flash. It's going to look, more like a bait fish with that little bit of flash in there. Just something that's different that they may not have seen before. It's a really easy hack to, just get that and get it just a little bit different than everybody else is throwing. Sometimes it can make a difference.